offered health care benefits, and half of them can't afford it.
I'm one of them right now.
Are you aware of that? So why are you telling people then to work, bozo? Why are you telling people just get to work when 30% of those people aren't even offered benefits? You sound like a clown.
Can I ask Jason?
Let's see who we going to do next here. Let's go to Jason. Jason is next up on PTL. Hello, Jason.
Hey, is it me?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, I did vote for Donald Trump. I am independent, registered independent, and you always ask us to call in. I listen to you every day. I listen to a lot of people. I did vote for Joe Biden though a couple years ago, and then I did vote for Donald Trump this time. So
okay. So thank you
that's
for
a little history.
All right. So
I'm
thank you.
Metro police officer. And now I do financial planning. I sell Medicaid. So
okay.
That's kind of my background.
I appreciate you for calling in. I have to, and thank you for being a police officer. I have to ask you, why did you vote for the guy who pardoned people who beat police officers on January 6th? You being a former cop yourself, doesn't that offend you?
Well, he hadn't pardoned them when I voted for them, and I don't agree.
But when he was running for office, he said he was going to pardon them. You didn't believe him, or
he said he was going to pardon those. I thought he was going to pardon those that were what he called political.
He called them hostages and patriots before he won the office.
But I actually asked his office or sent him an email and got a response back. I don't think it was him. But I said, you're not going to pardon any of the violent criminals. I'm that he had pardoned anybody that did any violent crime.
Well, Jason, how do you feel now that you know? Now that you know what he did, how do you feel now?
I'm not happy that he pardoned those. I feel betrayed, but I feel like I don't disagree with everybody he pardoned. I'm not happy. And I've looked and researched. I haven't found those sources of who he actually pardoned. I've been looking for those.
All of them.
And what actually crimes they did.
All of them.
A lot of those people, the violent criminals, some of whom beat police officers,
one had a life sentence.
Yeah.
One of them.
Okay, so let's go to something else here. You knew that he was a 34 count felon. That didn't bother you at all, being in law enforcement for all these years. That didn't bother you that he was a convicted
You're not even
felon?
allowed to associate with felons when we're active duty.
Yeah, and I didn't. This is the thing. I don't think I looked at that actually as what it was. He falsifies business records. That's a misdemeanor crime. I believe it went to Manhattan, and I do think it was, Loretta James campaigned on the fact that she was going to go convict him. I think those were, not to use a false term, but a charges.
All right, so you don't believe in the
were misdemeanors.
All right, so
I believe they were going after
you don't. All right, so hold on. All right, so let's talk about the first 5 months of his presidency. Are you okay with ICE agents not identifying themselves and going in there and deporting people who are nonviolent criminals? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with the fact that
I actually am okay with the deportation, and here's why. I own land in Mexico. I couldn't buy land in Mexico without a surrogate.
So it's about you then?
I believe the laws of the land should be honored.
MAGA.
Obeyed.
So it's about you then. It's not about somebody.
Well, let me ask you something, Jason. When you were an officer, didn't you have to have a badge? Didn't you have to have patches on your arms? Didn't you have to have a name tag? Didn't you have to identify yourself?
Yes,
didn't the police car have to say police on it? And if somebody said, "Who are you?" Did you go in t-shirt and jeans with a gun on and go chase people through the park and not identify yourself? How can you support that if you really were a police officer?
When I was on SWAT, I dressed just like those ICE agents. Yes,
but that's not true. That's not true. You have to have patches when you're on SWAT.
I had a name on.
That is not accurate. You have to have a badge. It's a cloth badge, and it's a cloth. You have to wear a cloth badge when you're in SWAT. You have to have a police officer badge. You have to have patches, and if you have a hat, it usually says SWAT or police on it.
Okay, so Jason, you're wrong about that.
And if they ask you who you are when you go in a house, you have to tell them.
Yeah, so Jason, you're wrong about that. But let's move on to some other things here. Are you comfortable with the fact that you had no problem having a guy become the president of the United States who bragged about sexually going into teenage girls' locker rooms?
No, I was sickened by that.
So why would you vote for somebody that you're sickened by?
Selectively sickened.
Well, I couldn't vote for Kamala Harris.
Why? What sickened you? Well, tell me what sickened you that rises to that level about Kamala Harris. Donald Trump.
She didn't run. She didn't run. She was appointed.
Okay, so
problems with
you would rather vote. So hold on.
She would have talked about her campaign.
First of all,
Let me tell you everything why I didn't vote
before
for her.
2016,
hold on,
Trump
hold
didn't
on.
run.
Let's go one by
There
one.
were three main things.
Okay, hold on,
There were
Jason.
three main things.
You just said you were sick, and which I appreciate, by the way, because I am as well, of Donald Trump bragging about going into teenage girls' locker rooms. Can you name me one thing that Kamala Harris did in her life that would rise to that level?
The fact that there were just rumors.
About what?
What?
But the fact that this is the thing. I don't base on somebody's personal life. I have other things that I base it on.
You just said
What
it's
about
sickened you.
I was worried.
You just said it's sickened
But
you.
no,
I'm asking.
This is the thing.
You just said it's sickened you, and
I'm
Donald Trump.
telling you, and you
yeah.
cut me out, and you want to focus on that. That's not why I didn't vote for Kamala Harris.
Name me something
I
about
had to
Kamala.
plug my nose
Tell
and
me.
vote for,
Was it her race?
I was sickened that this was the only choices we had.
So tell me what Kamala Harris did that was so bad. Give me a policy. Give me something that you think was.
She wanted universal health care. She campaigned.
So let's talk about that. Would you rather have 15 million Americans losing Medicaid health care coverage? You think by the way, Donald Trump is hold on. What's Donald Trump's tell me what Donald Trump's health care plan is. Tell me what Donald Trump's health care plan is. He said he had a replacement plan.
It should be
no, that's not what I asked you.
The government shouldn't be involved in
Jason, I need you to focus on my
government
question.
shouldn't be
Jason, calm him down. Stop talking. You're not answering my question.
This is what they all do.
Hold on a second. Jason, you're going to listen to my question and you're going to answer it. You just said you didn't like Kamala Harris's health care plan or what she wanted to do, which was to continue Obamacare. You voted for Donald Trump. Can you tell me what Donald Trump's health care plan is? What is it? Tell me what it is.
This is the thing. That's not why I voted for Donald Trump.
Pot him down again. You're going to answer my question. I didn't ask you why you voted for Donald Trump. I just asked you for your biggest criticism of Kamala Harris. You talked about health care. I'm asking you now because I'm going to assume that health care is very important to you. Answer my question. Tell me what Donald Trump's health care plan is. Answer the question.
He wants it to be private.
Nope. Don't tell me what he wanted. I'm going to ask it now for a fourth time. You just brought up a criticism, and I don't even know what it is. It's just all Kamala Harris wanted to do.
What's wrong with universal health care?
Was universal health care, and I think a lot of people would agree with that, but that's fine. We'll take that to the side. I'm now asking you for a fifth time. What is Donald Trump's health care plan? This is the last time I'm going to ask you.
And I told you he wants it to be private.
Where's the plan? Where's the plan? Where's the plan? And was it given to Congress? Where's the plan? We were told the plan was going to come in 2 weeks and a month.
The government involved in it.
No, sir. You're wrong and you're ill-informed. Let me give you the correct answer because you have no idea what you're talking about. There is no plan. He never presented a plan to Congress in 9 years. And even when he was president, he said the plan would be here in 2 weeks. The plan would be here in a month. We're going to have it. Jason, there is no plan. So you want to criticize Kamala Harris for wanting to have universal health care and continuing Obamacare, but yet you're complaining about someone who has a plan, yet you voted for the guy in 9 years that hasn't come up with a plan. Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds, Jason?
I
don't care what you sell. You voted for a guy who doesn't have a plan.
I don't want the government.
I'm not asking you what you want. Jason, this isn't about you. I don't care what you want. You voted for a guy who doesn't have a health care plan. And when I ask you to name a criticism of Kamala Harris, you complain that she wants universal health care and wants to continue Obamacare. Do you realize how ridiculous you sound? You voted for the guy that doesn't have a health care plan. You are ridiculous.
No, I disagree.
So what's the health care plan? So where's the plan? Tell me what's it called?
I don't want the government in health care.
I didn't ask you. We're going back in circles again. I didn't ask you what you want, doofus. Listen to me. Donald Trump doesn't have a health care plan. He never presented one to Congress. Why is that so hard for you to understand? I'm not asking you what you want. I'm not asking you what your opinion is on what you think Donald Trump wanted. Why would you vote for a guy that doesn't know how to put policy in place and doesn't have a health care plan? If you think he does, tell me what the plan is called. He doesn't.
By the way,
Yeah, he did. It's on his website. And
it's on his website.
To be run by private entities.
And what's the plan
called?
called?
What's it called? How to do it.
What's it called?
We want private.
He doesn't want a Trump plan. He doesn't
This is
want
a guy
the
who,
government
if
involved in
he
his
was a
career.
police officer, which I
Oh
don't
my
know if he
goodness
was,
gracious.
he had medical coverage his entire career, which I don't know how many years he was there. But this is coming from a person who had automatically had coverage, saying that I don't agree with a plan to have other people have coverage.
Right.
That's kind of what he's saying.
Because he only cares about himself. Sir, you just said people aren't going to lose their Medicaid coverage. Is that what you just said,
That's
sir?
not true.
This big, beautiful bill. Is that what you just said, sir?
I will debate that with him.
Nope.
Oh, so
they have an option to go work and to do.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a moment. Are you aware,
that's
sir?
Not accurate.
Are you aware, sir, that people that work in this country, 30% of them are not offered health care benefits, and half of them can't afford it?
Are you one of them?
Are you aware? Are you aware of that? So why are you telling people then to work, bozo? Why are you telling people just get to work when 30% of those people aren't even offered benefits? You sound like a clown.
Jason, can I ask you a question? Are you aware that in the new bill that the work requirement would end at 55 years old, and now the work requirement ends at 64? So you could be 61, 62 years old, and you could still have a work requirement where it used to end at 55. And that is going to cost millions of people to either they're not going to work, so they're going to lose their Medicaid. And you're okay with that? Are you saying you voted for that? You're okay with that?
Yeah, I did, and I want them. This is the thing. I am there. I actually filled out the paperwork for somebody to bypass that.
By the way, Medicaid isn't sold.
That's my
Medicaid,
job right
you
now.
said you sell Medicaid. Medicaid isn't even sold to private contractors. I don't even believe a word you're saying. No, it's not. You know what, dude? You're wasting my time.
I don't even know if he was a cop.
You're wasting my time. You're a clown. You're a bozo.
Ask him his P number.
I'm done with this.
I'll tell you my P
idiot.
number. I'll tell you my badge number.
What a clown this guy is. He sells Medicaid. You moron.
He's embarrassing Metro by acting like that I don't mind his position, but the way he's articulating himself.
Oh, he's just a complete.
I think maybe he got hired and was there a year or two. And
you sell Medicaid, you clown.
He didn't do 25 years. I can tell you that.
The guy's got 20 brain cells. Al,
that's my message to
Al,
Donald
here's
Trump.
my message.
Are you happy with that?
No, Al, I hope they deport you to Iran. Have a nice day.
Okay, I'm glad that you agree they're a terrorist organization. What do you think should be done with this organization that's been exporting terrorism since 1979? What do you think should be done?
Well, I'll tell you what shouldn't be done, and then I will tell you what should be done. So, back in the day, if you remember the Iraq War, where we were told there were weapons of mass destruction, thousands of U.S. soldiers died, hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis died. George W. Bush made a decision to go in there. Saddam Hussein was a terrorist. I think we all could agree on that. The world is a better place without him. But that was an ill-advised war that should not have happened. Anybody with an IQ over 20 would agree with that. You don't go after evil people just for the sake of going after them. Example, we're not going to go to war with Kim Jong-un. We're not going to go to war with Vladimir Putin. In fact, the guy that you voted for and that you still support continues to coddle Vladimir Putin. So when you say, what should we do? Barack Obama didn't drop bombs in Iran. He used his words. But you see, Donald Trump has just gotten us into an ill-advised war. That's what you don't do, Al. You handle it the way Barack Obama handled it. You don't handle it the way the guy who you support and you voted for handled it. Now let me ask you a question, Al. Are you happy with the fact that Donald Trump gutted the NOAA and over 800 people lost their jobs and now we've lost children and families? Are you okay with what's taken place in Texas where those families didn't get fair warning and Donald Trump and Kristi Noem want to abolish FEMA? Are you okay with that? And do you think Trump's done a good job in handling the situation in Texas?
Well, the thing is, unfortunately, I know that, I'm more involved with what's going on here locally. Okay, so I'm not following that. I did some reading, and if Trump did defund it, then I think he's
what
did
do you
the wrong
mean?
thing.
Wait,
I'll leave it at that.
Al.
Okay, but I want to go back to Iran.
Hold on, Al. We will. Al, we will.
I want to go back to
we
Iran.
will. Al, I will let you go back to Iran. But hold on a second. You just said if he defunded. It's not an if, Al. If you did your homework, you would know, and I'm educating you on this. Doge defunded the NOA. The NOAA. Over 800 people lost their jobs. What do you mean if? They did defund the NOA. They did.
Look, I'm not going to argue with you. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
It's not an argument. It's a fact.
Okay, well, let me answer the question. Okay? Okay, I agree with you. That's what happened. That was a mistake. That was a major mistake. Now, let's go back to Iran. Can we go back to Iran?
Go ahead.
This is a problem that's been going on since 1979. Now, Barack Obama used his words. These guys are still around. He didn't solve the problem, and more terrorist groups were formed.
You think Donald Trump solved the problem?
Okay.
You think Donald Trump solved the problem?
Well, I think if Donald Trump, personally, this is what I think. I think if Donald Trump goes out there and takes out the Iranian regime, I think that's the solution. Now, he can do it. He doesn't have to go to war.
I got some news for you.
He can do it
So was Tulsi Gabbard?
So
was Tulsi Gabbard lying 2 months ago when she was under oath and she said there was no reason that their intelligence to believe that they were furthering their capabilities? Was Tulsi Gabbard lying 2 months ago?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Al, I need you to answer the question. Tulsi Gabbard was under oath 2 months ago. This is Donald Trump's appointee. She said under oath that there was no reason in their intelligence to believe that they were furthering their nuclear capabilities. I'm asking you a question. Was Tulsi Gabbard lying, yes or no?
Okay, let me answer. I don't know. Is Tulsi Gabbard?
You don't know.
God?
Okay. So if Tulsi Gabbard, what do you mean if she didn't have all the information? That's Donald Trump's appointee. She has all the information. If she wasn't,
maybe there was other. I mean, we don't have all the information.
We don't have all the information. So you don't think Tulsi Gabbard held all the information, and you think Donald Trump did? Is that what you're saying?
It's a possibility.
That's a possibility. Okay, well that's completely asinine. So you're saying Tulsi Gabbard?
No, it's not.
So Tulsi Gabbard, the head of intelligence, when it comes to these issues, you're claiming she didn't have all the information. Donald Trump's appointee under oath, talking about the intelligence community. But somehow Donald Trump did. By the way, Donald Trump said that Tulsi Gabbard was wrong, and he didn't take our own intelligence, and he took the intelligence of the Israeli government, okay? And we're also, hold on, I'm giving you some more facts. We're also learning that worst case scenario, this attack on Iran maybe set them back a month or two, according to our own intelligence. We're also learning they had a couple days' notice, and there were trucks that were leaving that facility within 48 hours before, okay? They didn't get what they wanted to get, which was the uranium. This was not a successful attack, and you're making the case that Donald Trump getting us into an ill-advised war and accomplishing basically nothing is a good thing? You're saying that's a positive?
Okay, well, let me ask you this. What about when Bush, just by your own words, when Bush got informed that they had nuclear weapons and they didn't? His intelligence told him, and he believed his intelligence, and we got into a war. So has our intelligence made a mistake? I think the answer is yes to that.
Guess what? Guess where George W. Bush got a lot of that intelligence from?
From Tulsi Gabbard?
Nope, from Israel. From the Israeli government, who claimed that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. And now you want to believe that same Israeli government, not our own, that told Donald Trump that they're furthering their nuclear capabilities. You guys have no idea what you're talking about. It's why we were in another ill-advised war. By the way, a war that Joe Biden voted against, by the way. Another ill-advised war.
I'm telling you, that's fine. Go ahead.
No, it's not fine.
Go ahead.
You want Donald Trump. You want Donald Trump, who took the advice or intelligence from the Israeli government, the same type of Israeli government and intelligence that told us that there were weapons of mass destruction. Our own intelligence is telling us that they are not, and they have not been furthering their nuclear capabilities at this time. But you want to listen to Benjamin Netanyahu? You want to listen to the Israeli government?
I'd listen to them. I would listen to them. But you know what? I'm telling you this. I think something has to be done to take out the Iranian regime that's existing right now.
And have they done that? Have they done that? Have they done that?
Well, no. Well, we need to do something.
Haven't. Okay, but,
and it doesn't have to be war. And let me tell you, Ronald Reagan took out Russia without war.
Yeah, well,
what do you think of that?
So what do you think? Donald Trump ran as a peace president, no new wars. You had just admitted to me he hasn't taken out any regime. There's no evidence that he's taken out their nuclear capabilities. The war in Ukraine is still going on, stronger than ever. And every single time Trump says Putin wants peace, there's another airstrike where innocent women and children lose their lives. So can you please tell me what Donald Trump has done that's good?
I think both sides are definitely mismanaging it. I do believe that, but I believe that the Iranian regime has to be taken out.
Donald Trump ran on the fact that he would end the war in 24 hours. He said that multiple times. What happened, Al? What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. We're talking about Iran, okay? That's what we're talking
I know.
About
you don't want to talk about foreign policy, but didn't Donald Trump run on the fact that he would be a peace president? Didn't he run on the fact that he wasn't?
You're avoiding the point.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not avoiding.
The point is Iran.
I'm not avoiding.
What are we going to do
No,
with Iran?
I'm
How
not.
are we going to protect the
You
people
are
from
avoiding.
Israel?
You are avoiding the fact that you voted for the guy who said he would be a peace president and he wouldn't get us into any new wars. Now he's gotten us into a new war. The war in the Ukraine is still going on. Foreign policy-wise, he's an F-, and you play stupid, and you're not willing to admit that.
I'm not playing stupid.
What has he done then? What has he accomplished?
I believe that he can go and still get the Iranian regime out.
And what has he done? And what has he done?
Through an economic. We don't have to go into a physical war.
Oh well, he already got us into a war. Did he not get us into a war already?
Right. Well, anyways, you don't want to. If you don't want to acknowledge that you can take out a country economically.
And has he done that? Has he done that?
I think you got to go. I think you got to go get an education about warfare.
So what has he done economically to hurt them? What has he done? Tell us, please.
Well, I don't know. I think.
Oh, you don't know.
Now maybe,
so wait,
I think
you're trying to educate me.
He hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done anything. Thank you. Stop right there. Stop right there. Al, quote, he hasn't done anything. You're right about that, Al. He hasn't done anything. And then when you say there's a way to take them out economically, not by war, he hasn't done that either. He's gotten us into a war. He hasn't accomplished anything. Al, you haven't mentioned anything that he's done on a positive note, but yet, Al, you still support him. You still voted for him. Al, why is that? Tell me, why is that?
Because I think he's still the best leadership that we've got.
Oh, what has he done? Like, give me some of those leadership qualities. What has he done, Al? That would lead you to believe that.
He secured the border. He secured the border. We have zero crossings right now. He secured the border. No, a lot of people are happy with was, fentanyl.
Who's happy? Who's happy?
That sheriffs. I'm not going to say who, but sheriffs around the country have been saying that there's less fentanyl on the streets, and they're seeing a difference right now because of what's going on.
Do you realize there's more?
Less people are dying. What do you think of that?
Yeah, sure. I'll answer that by saying this. Do you think that the more fentanyl that's on the streets, is it from illegal aliens or is it from U.S. citizens? Can you answer that for me?
I think it's from an open border.
No, it's not. You're wrong. You have absolutely no idea. Al, you can look this up if you want to. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. There is more fentanyl out. Go ahead and look it up, and if you can prove me wrong, go ahead. There is more illegal fentanyl out on the streets right now from U.S. citizens, from legal points of entry from U.S. citizens, than those that are undocumented. It's another right-wing talking point, and you have no idea what you are talking about.
Yeah, but is there more fentanyl now than when Biden was around?
Is there more fentanyl now than when Biden was around?
Is there more fentanyl on the streets now than when Biden was in office?
Where are you getting that information from?
I'm getting that from what some of the sheriffs are saying around the country.
Which sheriff?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to
tell me.
Go do your homework.
So you don't know which sheriff said it, but apparently if
I do know, but I'm not going to say it. I do know. It's out there. Go look it up.
So you claim.
Go look it up.
So you claim. You know your sources. Go look it up. You claim you know your sources, and you're saying there are a few sheriffs in the country that are saying there's less fentanyl in their district. So that's where you're getting your source from, yet you're not willing to name the county or the name of the sheriff. Is that correct, Al? Am I getting that right?
That is correct.
Okay, well, that sounds very intelligent. Is there anything else intelligent you'd like to say, Al?
All right. Well, listen, Brian, you know what? Let me just tell you.
Yeah,
we got to figure out a way to get. We got to figure out a way to get Iran out, and hopefully we can do it economically.
Hey, Al.
And that's my message to Donald Trump. That's my message to Donald Trump.
Al, here's my message.
Are you happy with that?
No, Al, I hope they deport you to Iran. Have a nice day. Are you happy about that? I hope you get deported to Iran. You make us dumber every single time you call in. To assume that the war is over, Herb, is extremely ignorant on your part. Not only is it not true, but it's also, you can laugh if you would like, but I'm giving you facts. I'm the dumbest. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I'm the dumbest SOB.
I just called. I don't want to argue with you, but I just want to ask you a question because I'm confused. You keep saying we're in a war with Iran. Mm-hmm. Are we fighting Iran right now? Are we shooting? Are they exchanging missiles against our bases and stuff like? What's going on?
So your definition of a war means on a daily basis there have to be missiles that are struck?
There were missiles that were dropped by the United States on their nuclear site.
Yep.
That was done on one day, and then after that, they shot a couple of missiles. They let us know when the missiles were coming.
And the Iran's leader, are you aware?
Nobody got hurt.
Are you
finish?
Herb?
They didn't get hurt.
Did you ask me a question?
And that's it. And now they want to negotiate. So I don't understand.
Oh, really? They want to negotiate. It's funny because Iran's leader said that the U.S. will pay. I don't know if you've been following what they have been saying. where is your evidence that would lead you to believe that they are willing to raise the white flag and negotiate? Where are you getting that from, Herb?
I didn't say raise. I just said they wanted to, talk about, I guess, getting rid of some of the,
Who said that? Where are you getting
like
that?
The Houthis, and I heard that on the TV.
You heard that on the TV? May I ask where you heard that? Can you give us the source for that?
Well, I watch Fox and I watch CNN.
Shocker. Okay, so you're saying on Fox you heard from somebody, and you're not telling me from who.
Said I don't know. I don't remember where I heard it.
Okay, so Herb,
Herb,
let me give you an update, Herb. Okay, so Herb, let me give you an update, and let me try to answer your question. Okay.
When's the last time?
Herb,
Iran shot missiles towards our bases?
Herb, you have to let me talk now. You asked me a question. I'm going to answer your question, and I'm going to respond by saying, no, Herb, what you're saying is not correct. The Iranian government and the leader of Iran has not said, okay, we are willing to negotiate with the United States and Israel. They have not said that. In fact, it was Israel that broke a ceasefire, and there is no, at least right now, no clear path to peace. We struck them. Okay, they have threatened to strike us, and that doesn't mean that, quote, the war is over. There have been plenty of wars in the history of this country where there have been breaks, months, sometimes even years where there will be no violence, but that doesn't mean that the war is, quote, over. So for you to say because for a week or two we haven't seen any immediate retaliation on the United States of America and or the United States hasn't done anything more to this point, to assume that the war is over, Herb, is extremely ignorant on your part. Not only is it not true, but it's also, you can laugh if you would like, but I'm giving you facts. I'm the dumbest. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I'm the dumbest SOB. Sure, I'm sure, Herb, if we had 1,000 people that listened to every single time you called into this show, I would say 99% of the people would probably disagree with you on that, Herb. The war is not over. You got misinformation from your Fox News or wherever else you get your tinfoil information from. No leadership in Iran has said that they're willing to negotiate and they're willing to sit at the table with Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump. That is misinformation. That is not true. And there is no evidence to believe that Iran is not any more of a threat, maybe more to us now than they were. And if they weren't a threat, then why wouldn't Kristi Noem take back that 90-day terror watch that we have on the United States of America when it comes to Iran? If the war was over, why is that watch still going? Herb, you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, and you're a complete Nimrod and an imbecile.